This week we're talking about distribution channels. So specifically we're learning about online travel companies like Expedia and Booking.com and the technology behind how they connect and work with hotels like mine. And once you get a good idea of the context, like always, I'll then tie it back to the business need. You'll learn about a very serious problem with how this technology works today and how you are involved in solving this problem. So imagine this. The 2016 US election results have come out, and you find out that Donald Trump has become the official president of the United States of America. What a time to be alive. Now, immediately you go to your kitchen, you grab that handle of Skyy vodka, and you take a 15-second swig because holy shit, Donald Trump is the chief commander of our beloved country. Now, fast forward 30 minutes, you are now 16 shots in, you're piss drunk, and at this very moment, you have an epiphany. The perfect idea that will just fix everything. You decide to pack your bags and move to Canada. So, 5 minutes later, you're booking your flight and then you start looking for hotels. I mean, at this point, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't even know anyone in Canada. You're drunk. But you end up booking a room at the Ramada in London, Canada. Yeah, I said that right. London, Canada. Apparently, Ryan Gosling was born there, and when hell breaks loose, Ryan Gosling is the answer. Now, the moment you hit that book now button on Expedia, what exactly happens? So this is where we talk about how OTAs, or online travel agencies like Expedia or Booking.com, how they're connected with hotels like the Ramada in London, Canada. Now we're going to use this specific hotel as an example, but it's the same idea as my property. So in this technological landscape, we're talking about two databases. So when you hit that book now button, the first thing that happens is your reservation information gets stored in Expedia's database. And in the next video, I'll show you what that looks like because as a hotel owner, I have access to this database. Now, once this information is stored on Expedia's end, something else happens. Expedia then talks to Wyndham because Wyndham has its own database where guest reservations are stored. It's called CRS, also known as Central Reservation System. So Expedia talks to Wyndham and says, hey, we got another reservation. And they send it over to Wyndham's CRS. And finally, CRS sends that reservation over to Ramada's property management system, where the front desk will be able to see the reservation and handle it. So we have three parties involved in the flow of this whole distribution channel. Expedia to Wyndham's CRS, and then to a specific hotel's property management system. And if you forgot what a property management system is, it's also known as PMS. It's the software that the front desk guys use to check guests in and out. So remember that guest data tab that you've been playing around with for the past couple weeks to create the journal entries? Well, this is downloaded from my property management system, aka PMS. But if you followed along, you'll see that this data isn't really from the PMS. Data is fed from Wyndham's CRS, Wyndham's Central Reservation System. And this direct connect feature is pretty cool. Back in the day, Expedia would email us every single time a reservation was made. And trust me, it was not fun because you have to manually input that. But now it is all automatic. So if you look at this flow, this is happening in real time, and it's happening all in the course of 10 seconds. So now this is where we transition to the business problem and how you're involved, because as convenient as this technology is, there is one flaw, and it's that this channel distribution flow is only one way. This channel distribution flow is only one way. So even though Expedia can talk to Wyndham and then send that to the PMS, this is not a two-way street. a hotel is unable to send the information back to Expedia. It's only one way. So why is this a problem? Well, let's go back to your story. So you click the book now button on Expedia and this whole process begins. The reservation starts at Expedia, goes to Wyndham's CRS, and then Ramada's PMS in London, Canada. You just now woken up and your phone tells you it is now 2 p.m. It looks like you, my friend, just might have blacked out last night. Now, the first thing you do is check the news because, come on, there's no way Donald Trump has become the president of the United States of America. But alas, it is true. The good news is you're going to London. You skim the confirmation email from Expedia and get excited because, you've never been to Europe before. But then you realize, wait a minute, it says I'm going to Canada? So after you ditch the trip, how does this affect our distribution channel flow? Because at this point, as far as Expedia is concerned, you are still a guest at the Ramada in London, Canada. So when you end up as a no-show in Ramada's PMS, this reservation status does not automatically get communicated back to Expedia. And this is a problem because the fact that this channel flow is not two-way, the fact that it is only one-way, means that this no-show change is not automatically communicated back to Expedia. And it means that Ramada runs a risk of losing unnecessary commission costs. Ramada runs a risk of losing unnecessary commission costs. So one thing that I didn't mention is that Expedia or Booking.com, these online travel agencies, take a piece of the pie of the amount of money that a hotel makes if they're able to send the reservation over. So if you think about it, let's say your booking to London, Canada was for a whole month and the total trip costed $3,000. If Expedia takes 18% of that as part of the commission, the hotel, the Ramada, has to pay Expedia $540 in commission costs. If the Ramada in London, Canada doesn't earn the money from you, that $3,000 from London, Canada, they're actually losing money because of this commission from $540. So as you can see, there is a serious problem. There is a huge inefficiency in the channel distribution flow. Ramada will lose $540 to Expedia because as far as Expedia is concerned, they still think you're at the Ramada. And Expedia is still going to charge the hotel in commission costs for your stay. And again, I'm going to repeat myself again, it's because this channel flow is not two-way, and any changes that happen on the hotel side do not get automatically reflected back to Expedia. So now how does this relate to you? Well, because changes do not automatically get reflected, we are going to have to manually reconcile the reservations ourselves. Now don't worry, it's not as tedious as it sounds because we can use Excel to streamline the whole reconciliation process and track the discrepancies. And so the business need for this week is that Ramada's distribution channel flow is not two-way, and it runs a risk of losing unnecessary commission costs. And you are going to be involved in preventing the hotel from losing that money by using Excel to efficiently and effectively track any of the discrepancies that happen in this distribution channel flow. So in the next video, we're going to go straight into the Excel side of stuff, and you'll be able to see immediately how we are going to be solving the serious technological issue. So stay tuned.